Collected Tales of a Dublin Doctor. This podcast is a series of tales written by my father, Patrick Beaufin, and rediscovered in a file at the back of a press 30 years after his passing. He could make no fist of a reel or hornpipe. Some years ago, when our children were young, we went on a holiday to a farmhouse in West Cork. Not far from the farmhouse was a small, attractive public house at a crossroads, with old advertisements for St. Bruno plug and Gold Flake cigarettes on the whitewashed walls. On the evening before our departure, I decided to visit it, see the inside and meet some of the local people. When I arrived at 20 minutes to 10, the little pub was packed, jolly and noisy. It was explained to me that Friday night was music night, that on Friday the local people and any tourists in the district gathered. In their turn they sang, played a musical instrument, danced, or even gave a bit of a recitation. I stood in a corner with a small man from the locality. He wore a cap with the peak pulled down over his eyebrows. I offered him a drink. He accepted a pint of Guinness, purely to prevent the dry rot. He told me who the various performers were and how they were rated in the locality. It was a most entertaining evening of variety. I remember the Irish drinking song Prabs an Owl was followed by the green eye of the little yellow god. An elderly man stamped out a reel to the accompaniment of a melodeon and occasional whoops from the audience. Late in the evening, an old man in a corner played his fiddle. He gave a medley of Irish dances and concluded with the Coolin. My companion told me that Joe was the best traditional fiddler in the district, that he had a graw, a feel for the old music that the young don't have. It was obvious that Joe was held in high regard. The applause was deafening in the little pub. He played one encore and put away his fiddle. I agreed with my companion that Joe was good on the fiddle, and that Cayley must have had great life and spirit when he had played at them in the old days. I suppose, I said, that he is the best fiddler you've ever heard. To my surprise, he said slowly, "No, Joe is not the best I heard." He went on to tell me that a few years previously a tourist had come and stayed at the big house. He came down to the pub on a Friday evening with his host to hear the craic. During the evening, his host asked him to play. He agreed after some time, and his fiddle was got down from the big house. He played. He was the best that had been heard in the pub. He could make no fist of a reel or hornpipe, but he was a master of the slow tunes. He could make the fiddle whisper or sing with a tone the likes I've never heard since. Strange too, because he was a big man, fat and kind of awkward looking, but the lightest touch on the fiddle. He was the best. "Do you remember his name?" I asked. He looked at me from under the overhang of the cap and said, "I dunno now. It's a few years ago. It was a Jewish kind of name. Wait now, that's it. It was Isaac. That's it. Isaac Stern, yes. Isaac Stern, they called him."